gotta be specific with the prospects that you're speaking to, especially when you are doing the offer. So tell them exactly what is going to happen right after the call, when they invest, 1 week later, a month from now, and be specific with the offers. Because if you are vague, you are going to get a vague answer out of the prospect every single time. Also, this is related to asking questions like, for example, how much money they have to invest, available to invest. So commitment questions are also a good example with this. So for example, if you ask a bad commitment question, like, if everything makes sense to you right now at the end of this call, would you be mentally and financially prepared to move forward with taking the step? And this is a vague request that you're doing. It doesn't really make any sense to the prospect. So you want to be more specific. If you're asking them if they are willing to commit into themselves and invest in themselves by the end of the call, if everything makes sense, you have to be very specific with that. You just ask literally specifically, hey, if, hypothetically speaking, by the end of this call, everything makes sense to you, and you're like, well, this is exactly what I've been looking for in terms of, solving this problem in my business, would you be willing to commit to making an investment into yourself and into your business in order to solve this problem by the end of the call? So basically, like that, it's very clear that you're asking them if they're willing to make an investment by the end of the call if everything makes sense. Okay, so basically specific like that. Also, when it comes to asking them about their goals, you want to start general, but then you want to maneuver to getting very specific goals of them that they want to achieve. Because when you get the specific goals and the specific pain that they are experiencing that they want solved, then you can provide a specific issue. And the more tailored the service is that you're providing to the prospect, the more perceived value is going to be in their eyes. And there's an example of a factory that wasn't working, and the factory was producing products, and the electricity went off and it wasn't working anymore, and nothing was being produced anymore. So this factory, if it would be down, it would lose hundreds of thousands of dollars every single day that it is down. So they needed it to be solved immediately, otherwise it would cost them hundreds of thousands. So they called the specialist, and the specialist comes in, and within 3 minutes he is done, and all he did was turn a screw. And then he went to the business owner to get the money, and the business owner asked, like, how much do you want for it? And the specialist was like, 10K. And the business owner was like, what did you do then? And the guy said, I just turned a screw. There was a screw that wasn't, proper, and I just turned it. And the business owner was like, you want 10K for just turning a screw? Can you just write the breakdown of the, of the costs on a paper and like show me what you mean? And the expert writes down turning the screw $1, and knowing which screw to turn, $9,999, because there's like hundreds of thousands of screws in that factory, and he found the perfect one, which is more rare than finding a needle in a haystack. So it made total sense to the business owner, especially because the company would be losing hundreds of thousands a day. So the business owner went ahead and paid the money to the expert. Because the expert solved a very specific issue that was very urgent, he got paid a lot. So the more urgent and specific the problem is that you are solving in the eyes of the prospect, the more they are willing to pay. And you're selling a high-ticket service, so you need them to value it high in their head. So be very specific.